in collective knowledge!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, trees and non-binaries. Adam of the Hostile Atmosphere here, the Card Boys, and I have a small confession to make. I don't know if you've been paying much attention when it comes to some of the other card game videos we've seen so far, but I don't like aggro. I like control and I like interactive stuff. I don't like aggro. I find it boring to play with and to play against. And all it is you make your efficient guys and a line and try to maximize damage as much as you can. Attack, 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 burn spell, burn spell, burn spell. I get that it's an efficient way to play, and I've known people who have been, shall we say, under the influence of very interesting things and have done very well at high-level tournaments just by playing aggro and say, oh, all I had to do was just maximize how much damage I was doing on this turn. No, that is not how I play. I like to interact, I like to control, and I like to be able to outvalue and outpressure my opponent in any deck that I play, and any deck that I play seriously. So it comes as a surprise when our lord, the head of the Trifarian Legion, Darius here, is at the head of an aggro deck that I find interesting, that I enjoy playing, and most importantly I do well with, in the form of what I'm calling strength above all. Because I think, even though they probably wouldn't get along in the story, Darius and Renekton, the angry crocodile ascended who really wants to 1v1 people, would get on quite well together. So I've put together and adapted loosely a deck I've seen online, sort of circulating the mid tiers of the metagame, Noxian Shurima aggro, with several very interactive burn elements and a lot of good interaction to be able to make sure that your board is more thick and more punchy than any plan that your opponent can be bringing. So what's this deck looking to do? Well, it's got all of the vulnerable synergies that you would want to pair with the Renekton that you get in Shurima, with 2 copies of Exhaust, your Rock Hoppers, which give you your Roiling Sands, which grant landmark to the next thing that comes in, Ruthless Predators, and the Champion Spell on Renekton, so that he can get in nice and effectively. So you can also have them challenge in against weaker units like the Sands from Doomkeeper, Legion Saboteur, and something you want to die, Legion Grenadier, in the late game. Excellent burn in the form of Noxian Fervor to be able to pull a blocker that you don't want to get hit by a Life Stealer and just zap them in their face, and Captain Farron bringing Decimates in the late game, Darius' best friend and brother-in-arms. A card I've honestly loved in a lot of Noxus Go wide aggro decks is Decisive Maneuver. Stun an enemy and give the rest of your team +2/+0. Honestly, I think this card's incredibly underrated. I've seen it done in several various Yasuo builds, and I've seen it back when I used to play a lot of Darius, Draven, Targon, pretty much Noxus aggro splashing Pale Cascade, but it was a +2/+1 buff. This card, honestly, I think is amazing, because if you stun a guy that's blocking an overwhelm guy, such as a leveled up 10 attack Darius, then Darius can get through for the full overwhelm damage. And I want to talk a bit quickly about Darius for a little bit, because as the champions pool has sort of gone on, we'll actually have all the champions up as I talk about this. Just champions. Yeah, just champions. There are a lot of champions as of present, and I've only got a Xeran card style because I don't like the card style look, but in all honesty, power creep involving the champions as they've gone from the core set into Rising Tides, into Call of the Mountain, into Empires of the Ascended, has just left Darius in the dust. And we've got a couple of examples here of just people just being power crept off the side of the earth. Vi sees no play anymore. Trindamir's got legs in Feel the Rush, he always will. I think there's a lot of champions that are just either like incredibly niche or have been outclassed in such a way that they don't really feel the need anymore. In terms of like Noxus aggros, you barely play any Noxus champions. If you play Pirates, you play the Pirates, Misfortune and Gangplank. But flavor-wise, just looking at the raw stats of a 6-mana 10/6 with Overwhelm, this man attacks into Aurelion Soul. Who would win in a fight? A giant space dragon that forges stars, or a very angry man with a large axe? Just think about that next time you want to sleeve up some Noxus kids. But in all seriousness, I think he's found a real home in this deck. I think him as a top end to be able to close out a game is very effective, especially with extra cheeky little pump spells like the Decisive Maneuver and Shaped Stones, which we're using to full effect because we are playing 2 copies of Preservarium. Just a little bit of a way to just inject a tiny bit of card draw, especially as things start to go late, because this is still fundamentally an aggro deck. We do run out of gas fairly quickly, but there's enough play to it, and it moves fast enough that we probably don't need to get into the late game, as it is even running a couple of copies of Rite of Negation just to make sure that stuff like a Ruination from Lysandra Trundle, a Willination from the Ionia variants of Lysandra Trundle, and anything that wants to otherwise dick with our board will be stopped in the tracks. And it's amazing when you kill a Legion Grenadier for this, because it's a counterspell that counters their entire stack and deals them the damage. So without further ado, let's go be muscular and aggressive to whoever else wants to stand in our path. Ooh. There was a champion I was saying has fallen off the face of the earth. Hello, Vi, a personal favourite of mine. Let's welcome you back to the metagame, shall we? I have no idea what they're doing, and I love that, so we're going to keep a fairly general hand, bottom the spare Renekton. Okay, our late game's sorted. I don't love it, but I like being on the first in this deck, just for this card. Sweet. Would you look at this place?
The desert by my side.
We're just... I have been too wide for them. Oh, that's a shame. I wanted to see what they were doing. Oh, man. Oh, well. Thus is the point. It is aggro. It does pressure very well, and you saw it do so. Ooh, I might be able to get... Ah, Renekton. The Butcher of the Sands has earned his stripes. Let's see if we can't, like, get Darius up in this session. Alright, let's go again. Alright. Mono Shurima with just Nasus. That's interesting. I feel like if you're going to play Mono Shurima, I would personally, because I have no intention of building the deck, I think the deck's boring, I would go like 3 Azir, 2 Nasus, 1 Renekton. Actually, no, 2 Renekton, 1 Nasus. I'm stalling because I don't love that hand. It's too early to see these cards, and I don't have the good payoffs for this, so we're gonna... Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. This time we're gonna remember to be polite and greet our opponent. Ronicus.
Explosives primed.
Really want to open, but I'm not gonna.
Sands beneath me and winds behind me.
The desert by my side.
Not bad.
This'll shake 'em.
We are just gonna choose to challenge the sand, just for the sake of getting extra damage in. Quite like having the rock hopper here to be able to block into this.
Our city proudly pledges itself to Shurima.
The buff to this actually is not irrelevant, which I quite like. Grenadier. More than happy to block like this. Am I?
Sure about that?
Make them less likely to block this with this later, but we are starting to feel the pressure.
I have my orders.
Scribe into KDA as per usual.
To Kalamunda we stand together.
Everything's in place.
Dissident.
Now see here.
Very nice.
Respect.
Trading off a great deal of their board while still getting some damages is not bad at all.
I was not so mercy. I will not grant it. You will serve through me.
Would you look at this place?
Mortals beware.
I will run you over.
Your time cycle is done.
Well, we're gonna lose whatever we swing into against this no matter what, so be mana efficient. This is a better threat in the late game just because of the power of Spell Shield. We'll probably block with this anyway. We can't put the pressure on that. Oof. Hello, General.
Seen tombs, towns, and everything in between.
We're dead to a ruinous path, but I doubt they're playing it. Actually, no, it checks slays. They might be playing it. Oh, wise Nessus.
Your time cycle is done. The mortals know what awaits them. Few can know what death and eternity hold in store.
Lastinat Rame buys me a new sail.
Mine is the hand of Noxus.
Nothing but husks.
I think we're gonna call this one. Welp.
The battle is lost, but the war rages on.
Yes, Darius, I believe it does. No, gentlemen, no, 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 no. I need a hand, I need a curve, I need things to do. That's not better. Hello, darling. Let's go.
I have my in position.
Really hoping this card gets a chance to shine.
I'm something of an aspiring ecologist.
Not bad.
Specimen.
Yeah, they're allowed to put that pressure on. That's up for them.
You're covered.
Interesting. Probably block with this.
You must have some unique insight into dragons.
Most are cruel, vicious, and deadly.
She'll attack with 5 power, so unless they have a single combat.
Follow the tracks.
Show me a single combat.
Ready.
Actually, no, yeah. And now a card that has no business having Spell Shield.
Out here, you're moving or you're dead. I've got your back. Trample him.
Come back later.
The skies
Darken with their approach. Interesting. Keep forgetting that this is a dragon, but it's just so pretty. Classic Eastern mythology. Okay, would you look at this place? Let me wimp. Okay. So now I think it might be this card's time to shine.
Trouble far as the eye can see.
Shroud the woman's bastard.
Oh, it's definitely this card's time to shine.
Stop you.
That's fine.
Shield up.
That's...
Not the egg.
Don't judgment me. Don't you judgment me. Okay, well, that is what this is for. And... just trying to think if there's a totally worth casting this on. Yeah, screw it. Oh man. Cool. One more victory for the general. Ah. This will be an interesting one. Because I think we go fast enough that it really puts them on pause. I like Renekton with exhaust, especially on evens. This is one of the few times I'm actually okay with attacking on evens as well. I don't think we played both doing keepers.
See what we see. Nothing escapes.
Okay, now maybe we do.
The desert. Spy my
Because they're not going to ice shot us.
Azir's command.
I'd block one of these guys. 2, 4, 6. It's a pretty decent start. Oh yeah, avalanche, by all means. I'm going to choose to protect this. Because we have just enough mana to do this.
Cannot hide forever, Nasus. No retreat.
They probably Thrash freeze Renekton. Called it. Where I'm starting to worry because we are starting to run a bit out of gas.
King of trolls coming through.
Sure. Interesting. Your power, give you vulnerable.
Down. I am their end. No surrender.
He lasted a lot longer than I thought he would, but then again that is their whole turn off to try and kill him.
I'll render bloody
Path through Shurima. And we just made a vulnerable effect.
Secrets hidden by frost.
Once is good, twice is an honor. And it locks out their attack because they want to attack Trundle into this.
What a shame for you.
Yeah.
A little snowball.
Done yet.
Bow to your king.
She doesn't last long on this board, but I think we do need to develop still.
Once the wiser.
Just to push as much damage as we possibly can. Oh my god. Punished for standing. You got it. I don't think we recover from this. Meep. Wow. Old-timey Trundle Trundle. Interesting. This card will absolutely shine in this matchup. I like a polite opponent. I like a polite opponent.
The Emperor commands. The land
This is the part where we pray. Come on, you have to have Ice Shard. Wow!
Sun's beneath me
The
and
wind's behind me. Slam that Hoggon's peak. Boom.
always forward.
Sure. Uh-huh. Crunch. They had to Guiding Touch because they, as far as they know, they were dead to Decimate. Love seeing a free Renekton. Love seeing a free Renekton. Because if they make any unit.
Nice to meet you.
What a shame for you!
Where I go,
Carnage follows. Double free Targon's Peak. Ooh. So. Free Rite of Negation and a free Shapestone, yes please.
no surrender.
Pressured. Then again, I think this sort of feeds on controlling value decks like this.
Reincarnate forever.
Has the general earned his stripes? Well done, sir. Well done indeed. Yeah, that matchup just sort of shows that this deck very much preys on high grind and high greed, which Targon's Peak deck definitely is. It's not as prevalent in the metagame anymore. After the balance patch, the deck has become much more aggro focused with spiders, pirates, discard. All deck Lucian and Azir. All decks I love on paper but cannot play in practice. So a deck that interacts well but still has a very smorky, punchy game plan is something that I'm very interested in. Some wins, some losses, but Darius has leveled. He has ascended to the ranks of the cool kids. Quite a few people on mixed rankings here, but take what I can get. I'm happy to see everyone on some stripes. Kindred's very close, but I need to bring some people up to Kindred's level. God, I love Kindred. I love Kindred so much. But that will do it for the General and the Butcher. Thank you for watching. Like if you like you see, and subscribe if you want to see more. But until next time, live free and play well.